And there you go. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. I can do my little presentation here for you guys. Okay, so I'm just going to open this up and we'll get going. So the first thing here I want to go over, which basically what I'm doing for these webinars that I do is I basically just look at all the questions that people have in our Facebook group. Mainly it's just the Facebook group, right? And that's kind of what I'm going to base from here on out until liquidity is provided, basically. Because when liquidity is provided, people aren't really going to have that many questions. It'll go back to like the complaints will be things like, hey, how come earnings weren't as much as they were the day before, or whatever, those type of things that like doesn't really matter. For now, during this time of, when they're in the trial process and stuff like that, tension's high with people. They don't necessarily understand every little single thing, because it's hard, guys. I understand how hard it is. You're trying to convert news that's not in your language into your own language, and then for the people out there that their first language isn't in English, they're converting Russian, English, and then into their own language, right? If they're taking my news as well. So I understand how hard and frustrating it is. So that's what I'm going to basically base these webinars around, is looking at the questions and kind of the frustration that I see out there. And then I'm going to make them around that. And then we'll do it like once a month. We'll just have like a big banger webinar. I don't care how long it is. We'll try and just, anyone that has questions can attend it. Doesn't matter whose team you're on, whatever. As long as you want to sit there and hear people speak English and you understand what's going on, then you're welcome, and you can ask anything you want, like nothing's off limits kind of thing. So this, as I've noticed over the past, I would say, and I think I went over this one time before in a webinar, but I see it just keep on being asked and asked and asked again, is, well, hey, how come this is happening to SWCT and we don't have liquidity right now and everything's all tied up in the audit and then checks and then with the court and stuff like that. Like, what is stopping the Prime investment or Prime Pro or any new directions? Like, what is stopping that from happening to them? Okay, so that's a really, really good question, and it's been answered many times, but I figured, what, I'll answer it here again in this video. And for the people out there that I know most of you guys watching this, you probably already know the answer, but hopefully maybe it'll help somebody out there, okay? So this is basically what they've done. And in a business, you got to understand that owning a business, being a client of a business that deals in the financial field, you're an entrepreneur, right? You're not going somewhere and someone's paying you for your time, right? When you're an investor, when you're a client of a financial situation, institution type thing. You're going to have road bumps, guys, no matter what. Like, there's going to be, after all this is settled and we have our liquidity back, there's going to be other road bumps that we have to overcome and stuff, right? That we don't even know of right now, because it's just life, right? Especially once you have kids and once you have a mortgage and once you have car payments and stuff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, nothing is perfect. Every month is different. Every situation is different. Every day is different, right? When you're out there, you're a college kid or you're a student or something, and your parents, are basically taking care of you and such. And I know none of you guys watching this video are in that situation probably, but life's a lot easier. And it's kind of, if you want to think about it in this way, that's like you going to a day job 9 to 5 and someone paying you for your time, basically, right? Things are easy. And I kind of feel like the 9 to 5, it's an easy way to create an outcome, which can be very, very positive for you. But being an entrepreneur and working with a company like S Group or so, it is the entrepreneurial lifestyle. You don't know what's going to happen the next day kind of thing, right? And road bumps happen and that kind of stuff is what I'm saying. So we'll go back to this last slide, because I know some of you guys maybe lost track here with what I was saying. But you can see here, okay? So why, what has the company done to prepare for this SWCT situation that we're in right now? What have they done to prepare so it doesn't happen to Prime and Prime Pro or any other directions that have come out after, this SWCT, I'll call it like situation, right? Okay. Is the company has set things up in sanctions. Okay. So basically these are sanctions here with the UK government, because we all know S Group is registered in the UK, so it applies to all the UK government rules and stuff. So if they have trouble or anything, they deal in with the UK. okay, with the UK government. They're not dealing, if they have trouble, they're not dealing with like, the Dubai government or something like that, because that's where Vadim lives. It's nothing like that. It's where your company is registered, right? So what they've done is they've set things up so that if something was to happen again, like the SWCT situation, it would be set up in sanctions, okay? So for instance, you could go to this link. I'll leave, when I upload this to YouTube, I'll leave this link in the video description, and you can click it and you can see if your country is listed on the sanctions list for the UK government. But these are some of the countries like Afghanistan, North Korea, Haiti, Iran, Iraq, Russia, Yemen. There's probably, I think there's about 12 or 13. Oh, someone's messaged me here really quick. I just got to check. Link to the webinar. Okay, sorry, you're too late for that. If you can't find it, I just had to check just in case someone said we can't hear you or something like that, right? So, yeah, guys, it's pretty simple. You're just going to check to see if your country's on that list. Okay, that would be the first thing for you. That if your country's on that list, all honesty, that's probably not a good thing. Okay, just meaning that if your country's on that list and you feel like, and other people feel, hey, my country maybe is a little bit corrupt, like maybe North Korea or something like that, right? Then maybe something could happen with you, S Group, and sanctions against your country later on in, the Prime or Prime Pro direction or whatever direction you're in type thing, okay? And I wanted to be crystal clear about that like nothing is perfect. If you live in a country like, for instance, Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, those kind of countries that are totally fine and they're like, they work fine with of course, the UK and stuff, then most likely you're not going to have some kind of issue. Okay. Also, I'll point out that like, you go and you look at this list, you don't see Ukraine on that list. So here's another thing is if you're in a country where, I don't want to use words like corrupt and stuff like that, but if that country's government decides to go after S Group, right? That's another thing there. It might not even be on that list, like Ukraine isn't on that list, and they still decided to go after S Group there, okay? So there's lots of factors in this, but here's the big news, guys. Here's the good thing, and they talked about this at the event, was that if this was to happen again, it wouldn't involve the entire member base. It just involve that country that goes after S Group and the clients within that country. Like if you verified say for instance, you live in, Afghanistan, right? And you verified your S Group account with Afghanistan passport or something, okay? And then Afghanistan went after S Group to, try and get funds or whatever kind of thing like that, then only you and those people in your country that are clients of S Group would be involved in it, not the entire member base. So that's basically what they've done. So all you have to do is basically think, hey, has my country done things like this before, right? If the answer is no, we don't see news about your country going after financial institutions and stuff like that constantly all the time, then boom, you probably don't have to worry about it, right? If you don't see your country on that list, then that's another thing. You don't have to worry about it. So for instance, myself, I'm not even really concerned about, is this going to happen to Prime or Prime Pro for me personally? Okay, so I want to be crystal clear about that with you guys, and I know I spent like 10 minutes just talking about it, but I think it's really, really important that everyone knows that and they understand the risks of it if your country is listed, on this page here, okay? Or if you're in a country that you feel like, hey, my country is kind of corrupt with, financial things, okay? Okay, so let's get off that topic there. If your country were to go after S Group, the issue of auditing checks and court dates would only affect the S Group clients within that country. So I just covered that there, okay? So look at things like whether your country is on that list or your country is known for attacking financial companies. Like, for an example here, the US SEC, they're known, and that's, as we're going to get into down here, that's why S Group doesn't work in the US, is because it's a high risk country to work with. Okay. So, and I know that sounds weird because a lot of people that don't live in the US, like even myself, I think of the US as like such an amazing opportunity country. It's so rich. And when I think of US people, I think of like, oh, they're so wealthy and things over there are so cheap compared to my country and stuff like that. But you can look into their SEC, guys. Their SEC is very, very strict over there. Okay. So this is also why S Group doesn't accept U.S. citizens. We just talked about that as clients, okay? And also Sergey posted about this, why S Group doesn't work with U.S. citizens. I think a week ago he posted and talked about that. I got to get going. I only have 20 minutes left here. Also, a great point to consider that the U.S. is in the leading global market for clients dealing in finance. Yet S Group does not involve the U.S. due to its strict SEC regulation and the potential trouble the company could face from working in the U.S. Okay, so I wanted to point that out to you guys because, here's something else that I see floating around in, not so much the Facebook group, but if you go to like the internet, you go to Reddit and stuff like that, you'll see people saying just straight up, oh, S Group's a scam, blah, 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 but they don't really back it up with anything, right? So here's one of my powerful points when someone comes to me and they say, without seeing any financial thing or trusting that my earnings are real or my lifestyle's real, it's created basically 100% through S Group now. This is one of my powerful points that I use in my promotion is that if S Group was a corrupt company, they would work in the US, right? Because they wouldn't care. Okay. So that's something to think about. Okay. Something to point out. Okay. If S Group were a scam or dishonest, they would likely target U.S. members, given that the U.S. is the leading global market for financial clients. Okay, meaning that U.S. is, we all know it's a rich country. Most of the richest people in the world are situated in the U.S., or if they're from another country, they end up moving to the U.S., like Elon Musk and all these guys that you hear about out there that are, billionaires, basically. They all end up in the U.S. because that's where the financial market is, okay? So now think of that. Like that is something to think about here, guys, is that if S Group was signed to some kind of corrupt company or whatever, like would they work in the U.S.? Of course they would, but they don't, okay? So that's a good point there just to think about. Okay, so here's something here that I thought, originally I was thinking, I don't really even need to talk about this because we all know by now, and especially the people watching this video, you guys all know by now the news from the 9th and the 10th Dubai event. But I thought I would go over everything here, and then I thought I would go over something that I actually shared with my team that is really, really freaking eye-opening. For the people that didn't go to the event, this is extremely eye-opening for you. So hang on here and we'll get to this, okay? So the December 9th, December 10th, S Group Dubai event 2024 for 14% plus. This is not an all-out, anyone can go event. Some people were confused about that because Vadim had said a while ago that, hey, liquidity would be provided and then we'll have a company event. Again, what he's talking about company event is he's talking about an event where like anyone can go, right? This was for 14% plus. So it's not, it's not a full on anyone can go to this event. It's a 14% plus event. And actually, it was actually opened up to 13% as well. That basically they had to send in a form or something like that to go. So there's a lot of people there, guys. There's about 400 people there. So the news is there is no news from the event. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this because this is something that's going around that even a lot of leaders that went to the event, they're telling their teams this. Like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you anything. We're not supposed to tell you anything. Okay, so I wanted to be crystal clear of why that's being said, and there's such little news being shared. Okay, and it'll make sense once you come out of this. You'll be like, okay, I understand why they're not really saying anything. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you something here that's probably going to change your total perspective of, oh, I need to hear information. I need information. I need your information. And you'll come out of this thinking like, maybe I don't need information. I can see the proof is right there. That what was shared was probably above and beyond what anyone is even expecting, right? Okay. So why is that? It's simple because that what was shown cannot be public news, as this is a case that deals with the court. Okay, so for instance, if you're, doing something, and I don't know, what would be a situation? Not like a divorce or anything like that, but okay, you're doing something in court, and there's a defendant and there's a plaintiff. Would you want either side to know what either side is thinking before it's been said? No, they defeat the purpose of court. Okay? So that's why nothing can be said here, guys, is because if something is said, even if it's said in like a company channel where you have to have a deposit of $100 to be in there, if it's said in there, it's going to be said to the internet, the entire internet. Okay? And there's people in that group that are there just to like stir a shit pot. There's people in there with fake accounts. Like, at least once a week I see someone posting about like, oh, this person tried to scam me or whatever, like within our own company investors chat group there, right? Because you only need to have a verified account and $100 deposit to get in there. So not everyone is, a saint, a nice person in there. And some people are in there actually with intentions to work against the company, right? So not too many people, of course, a very, very small percentage of people. But that's the big thing, is that everyone went to the event, they're showing something, and they're not allowed to go and publicly go out there and tell people what they saw. Okay, documents on the audit, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so there were no recording devices allowed in the room. Okay, so this is things I want you guys to really, really think about and put your mind in that situation, because I know everyone is thinking, oh, I want to hear news, I want to hear news, I want to hear news, because on the 11th, actually started on the 8th, I was getting messages, hey Drew, what are they saying at the event? And I'm like, the event hasn't even happened yet, and I'm not even there, so I don't know. But days after the event, that's all you heard about was, what did they say, why aren't they telling us anything? Okay, this is why here. Okay, and this proves here how serious things were. I got 10 minutes left here. Okay, there were no recording devices allowed in the room. Okay, and there were security personnel with scanning devices. Okay, so think of this. When you go to the airport and you're getting on the plane there and they're making you take off your watch, they're making you, in Canada, they make us take off our shoes, take off our belt, put our wallet in a X-ray thingy that, goes through on the X-ray thing. I don't know what it's called, X-ray scanner, I guess. There was that kind of thing, guys, going into the event, okay, where people had these scanner things and they're checking for devices like recording devices and stuff like that. So think of this now. The company cares so much about its top leaders and its top leaders feeling comfortable that they put this together for them to feel comfortable, okay? That says a ton about this, is that the company was willing to go out there and, I don't want to say risk their trial and stuff like that, because I don't think anyone that would pay, $22.50 to go to an event and then pay for a plane ticket and a hotel room and all that stuff is going to go and be like, oh no, I have a plan to work against the company, but I'm going to the event. I don't think that situation would play out. But just think of from the company's point of view, guys, how were they trying to keep this security tight, and that so no one was in there doing things like recording what's being said, like on a mobile device, right? Like not up like this, holding it up and filming, but actually having recording in their pocket, and then just so they could go and be like, oh, share this with their team or whatever. They didn't want any of that. Okay, so I really want you guys to think about that, is how serious this was. Okay, so it's very, very serious what they did there. Okay. You should be able to answer your own question. Why no one has shared information from the event? It's simple, guys. They're told not to. Okay? So I want to tell you something about my situation here, because I think it'll help you out understanding that I didn't go to the event, and still people, a lot of people out there look up to me that are in S group, right? Because I'm kind of seen as like the English leader. I think that's what people say anyways. So I had people that went there that before they went, they were telling me, hey, Drew, I'm going to share information with you. And, I'm so excited and all this kind of stuff. They didn't share anything with me. Okay. I didn't bother asking because I already knew, like, if they're not going to share something with me, then they're told not to. And I don't want to put them in that situation. But guys, I had probably a handful of people, like 4 to 5 people that were like, hey, I'm getting on the plane now. I'm so excited. This is awesome. Hey, this is where I'm staying, all this kind of stuff. And I didn't hear boo from any of them. They didn't share anything with me. So whatever was shared there was some, information that they felt, no, I can't even share it with this guy I've been following for the last 4 years or whatever, that's maybe above me in the system kind of thing there. Okay. So, I want you guys to think about that, even from my situation, my point of view. that way. Okay. So yeah, pretty top secret stuff. So let's get into this here. This here is what I shared with my team, and I actually shared this yesterday in the Facebook group there. But this is something to think about. Okay. So if you understand that they can't share any information, you still you have kind of a doubt in your mind that the news was amazing that they shared. And you're thinking okay, if it's so amazing, why didn't anyone share it with me? And you understand they're not allowed to share. But you're thinking okay, my sponsor's close to me, the 15% above or 14% above that went, but that person's not sharing information with me, or they feel like they're holding back or something like that, guys. So here, this for me did it for me, where I thought, I don't need to know. I don't need to know, because I can see this saying, right? The proof is in the pudding, right? I can see with my own eyes what's going on here. Okay. So you look at this, how I know the news that was shared was amazing news. Okay. Look at the levels achieved in December. Throughout the past, I've been an S Group member for 4.5 years, right? The company's been around for 5 and a bit now. So I've never, in my entire time in S Group, I've never seen a month that like this month, December. And here's the big thing, guys, as it says over here, we're halfway through this month and we haven't had a month like this. We're halfway through it. So we're talking about levels achieved within December. Okay. Look at this, guys, 12%. There's 105 new 12%, new 10.5%. There's 149 people, and that's in half a month. Okay. That's more than most entire months in S Group. Okay. 13% and above. Look at that. 13% is almost 80 people that made it to 13% that month. 14 is 14 people. 14.5 is 17 people. 2 people at 15, and then 1 person at 15.5, right? Okay, and we just had another person today at 15.5, which is the $500,000 amazing bonus, right? So that's something to think about there, is that they saw something at the event, or they felt comfortable enough with something at the event that they just started promoting like crazy, right? And in result of that, people moved up levels, and then the people below them moved up levels as well, and this was achieved. So for me, that was the big thing that I saw, that I didn't go to the event. I didn't really, no special news was shared with me. No one shared any special news with me, right? The news, the information that I got from it, which I've already shared in our Facebook group, where was that information? Where did it come from? It came from the investors chat group, which is, we kind of see that as the public, right? Anyone can see that as long as they have a $100 deposit, and as long as they have a verified account in S Group, they can see that information. So all the information that we know about the event, if you didn't go, that's it, right? And then we can see this here, that something was said to them that made them feel like, I got to promote this like crazy, right? And all these new people, all these new levels were created here, okay? So I thought that was pretty cool, and I thought I'd share that with you. So what I want to share with you now, I only got 5 minutes left here, but this shouldn't take me more than 5 minutes, is we put this together. If you guys know Johnny Bitcoin, he was on the first webinar here with the Big Idea Marketing. And he's, as I said in that webinar, he's probably the best trader that I know, crypto trader. His results are insane is not saying enough. It doesn't even make sense to me, the results he can get. He can take $100 and make $100,000 out of it within a year. It's completely nuts. Okay. So what I'm going to show you here is not a referral system. It's not a, hey, go and pay some money and then do this or whatever. It's 100% free. And me and him, and then some of the other admins, we put this together for you guys and for the general public later on and stuff like that. And basically what it is, because we know you're interested in cryptocurrencies and stuff, it's just straight up trade calls. So basically, here, I'll show you. I'll take you through this process. And I actually made a full on funnel for this and a course and all that kind of stuff, because I think this is going to be really, really good for people, and it's free for people to do. So I think that would be really good. And it's just kind of a thing giving back once again through Big Idea Marketing stuff. So I'm going to shoot on over here to the internet, and here's a page that I'd made. So you basically opt into the page. The only thing we get out of this, guys, is we get your email address, because you need to get access to a course, because I put a course together to show you the basics of trading, because you're just basically following trade calls. So it's like really, really easy. He's showing you what the coin he's looking at. He's showing you where he's going to enter and stuff. And I put together a course just showing like how to open up an account with a exchange, how to place a buy, how to place a sell, how to read basics of a chart, what is support, what is resistance, what are trend lines, all that kind of stuff, right? So very, very basic stuff. The course is only about an hour and a half long, so anyone can get through it. But I want to take you through this process here, okay? So it's got a opt-in page. The next step here, we'll open this up. This is the longest video in the entire thing. This is a 40-minute video just explaining things and explaining how it works and all that kind of stuff. You come here, you have earnings disclosure and stuff like that you have to read over, and then you just click it like, hey, yeah, I agree with that. There's a little 2-minute video there that you watch that shows you what to do next type thing. And then you click this, and you guys can see you don't pay anything to get access to this stuff. So here's his group right here. Okay, so we've got a chat support group. Okay, so here's a result. I want to show you this. This is insane. Think about this, okay? So this is Johnny right there. And he spent, I don't know when this was, I think it was 2023 or something, he said. He spent $2,950. So basically $3,000 to enter the market on this coin here, okay? PP or whatever it's called, okay? And then this is his profit that he got out of it. $1.4 million. I know you can't really see that. We'll blow it up here on the screen, okay? That's his entry. This is the profit, 42,800%. Okay, so this is like, not every call is going to be that amazing and stuff like that, but he's projecting, based upon his results of the past 10 years, he's projecting that a new person coming along that kind of doesn't really even understand like what is cryptocurrency, they can easily get a 5 to 10x return on, I shouldn't even say return, a 5 to 10x gain on, you know, the calls that he's making here. Okay, so I just want to show you this. We got 1 more minute here until I got to get going, until my son comes home. So this is the trade calls group. So you can see, guys, it's really, really simple. He just basically goes, posts what he's buying in here. He posts like, I think, you know, I'm going to get 4x to 5x out of this one here. You know, this is mid to long-term play. So that could be 3 months to a long-term play would be like around 8 months, 10 months, a year type thing like that. So, you know, 4 to 5x out of that coin there. That's pretty good. That's actually one of the ones that is not that great, but you can see here, this target here, this coin, the entry on it was $22. He's projecting it'll go to $50 within the next 3 to 6 months, and then $100 within the next 6 to 10 months. Okay, so those are the trade call group there. And we're calling this Johnny Bitcoin Workshop. That's what we call it. And then this one down here, this is the analysis workshop. Okay, so if you're actually interested in crypto trading and you're interested in like, you know, all this kind of stuff, like this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, if you're interested in learning about cryptocurrencies, why they move, how it works, and all that kind of stuff, then this group here is great for you just to come up and study things. And, you know, he's got lots of great stuff on here, some knowledge that he's put in here, okay? And this is brand new, guys. Like, I think the first post in here was on the 13th of December. Today's the 17th. So this is something we haven't put out to the public yet. Type thing. There's no referral system for it or anything like that, because we all signed the agreement with S Group. We can't actually like promote something that doesn't have to deal with like selling S Group or anything like that, like another business opportunity. So we put this together strictly as, and we're not calling the people that come in here even members, we're calling them friends. Okay, so this doesn't violate S Group's referral agreement or anything like that. So this is very, very cool, guys, what we put together there. So I'm going to show you the course, and then I'm going to end the video here. So this is the course you get access to when you opt into the opt-in page. I put this together, this course here, very short videos. Like the first video's 9 minutes. The second video here, basics of trading. And it is basics, right? This is 14 minutes. Third video here is 13 minutes. And then this one's the long one where I teach you how to read his trade calls, which it's 46 minutes long. So about an hour and a half, and you can get through all the basic training. This is for people that are like, I don't even know how to buy. I don't know how to sell. I don't know what an exchange is. I don't even really know what cryptocurrency is. They can go through this course. They can learn the basics. and then just simply coming in here and following his trade calls, guys, like we're projecting that people are going to have some great results with this, and it's 100% free for people to do. So this is really, really cool. And this will be something that later on, once you get a result from it, you can go and you can just share it with people and stuff, okay? Because it has no referral system in it. So you can just like share the landing page link or whatever once you know, if you decide to do this type thing, okay? So that's basically it for this webinar. The main things I wanted to go over was the sanctions. This is this is the page that it's going to link to when we upload this to YouTube there. And then, yeah, I just wanted to talk about why people are not really talking about news from the event, guys, is just because they've been told not to. And then I gave you this really good reason here, if you feel uncomfortable about that, to see that and understand that whatever was shared at the event, the news was really, really good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like, guys, this wouldn't happen if they said something along the lines of, oh, we're really sorry, but, things failed with the trial situation. We have to move to a full-on court trial date, and who knows how long that could take. Like, nothing like that was said, right? Because if something like that was said, this wouldn't have happened. Like, the aftermath of good news is always a good outcome, right? The aftermath of bad news is normally, well, that's when leaders are created, but normally it's a struggle. It's a hard outcome, right? This is an easy outcome. Like, look at that. That is crazy. That's nuts. So that's it from me. We actually don't have any time for questions. It's 4:03. But guys, the webinars that we're going to do once a month here, we're going to we'll stay after, we'll answer any questions that you have, anything like that. I'm sorry to the people today that I just have to go. But I got to pick up my car from the repair at 5, and it's 40-minute drive, and I don't want to make them wait or anything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you found some value in that. I'm going to stop the recording. There's Telegram there. Jump back on here. Share. Stop sharing. And, oh, we got a bunch of people in here. Thanks for coming out, guys. I hope that you guys found some value in that once again. And we'll see you at the next webinar with whatever news comes out kind of thing. We'll share there if any news comes out. They've already said the next news that's going to come out, it's going to be like February or something. But if anything new comes out, I'll share it with you. Also, I'm really looking through the groups to see what people are talking about and see what's frustrating people. And then that's what we kind of talk about on these webinars, so that those people that are frustrated, we want those people to be here, guys. So if you have people on your team that are struggling, they're just I just want the answers to things, and you're having a hard time explaining things, then get them here. And then when I'm done the presentation or talking about whatever I'm talking about, and all the other admins and stuff would be here, we can help those people out, guys. We can answer their questions, and that will help you out, right, if you're the sponsor, okay? So thanks for everyone coming here, and I'll see you pretty soon, definitely in the group there.